Pat Robertson loves to give advice to his viewers, and recently he got a question from a woman who has a gay nephew. Now, she's really concerned about her gay nephew, and she thinks, will praying help him? Will that pray the gay away? Let's see what Pat Robertson had to say to her.
Teresa writes, my 30-year-old nephew just told the family that he's gay. I want to pray for him, but does he need to pray for himself in order to be helped?
Well, you know, a few years ago, the psychiatrists, psychologists used to say that homosexuality was a mental illness. Now, the Supreme Court has said that it's a protected right. So what's he going to pray about? Is he going to say something's wrong unless he's unhappy?
Okay, I love these debates that they have on who should pray for people. Like, should he pray for himself, or should I have my next door neighbor pray for him? Or if maybe the grandparents and my boss at work prays for him, then the gay will be prayed away entirely. Or perhaps he'll stay gay because he was born gay. But call me crazy.
So, okay, so I love how he always goes back to, oh, it was a mental illness until the 70s when they decided that, you know, these professionals decided it's not a mental illness anymore. Yeah, it was based on evidence that it's not really a mental illness. So, like, stop repeating that stupid point. I can't stand that. But,
I gotta jump in there, because it's like saying, well, until a couple of 100 years ago, we thought that the stars were actually holes that God had poked in heaven. But now they changed it, and they claim that there's stars and planets up there. Okay, if you say so. Yeah, that's because we got new evidence. Turns out, no, God didn't prick holes in the sky. There are stars and planets up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New evidence sucks, though, especially if you don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that happened during his answer, he randomly decided to start talking about transsexuals, and he's actually surprisingly accepting of transsexuals. Now, this is probably the second or third time that he's talked about transsexuals, and here's what he had to say. Now, I understand that I've mentioned on this program that people that need a sex change operation, in other words, it's a woman that's trapped in a man's body, a man trapped in a woman's body, and they really need some hormones and surgery to get the thing lined up. That's one thing.
The thing lined up, okay.
That's one thing. But this other, many people are in this homosexual lifestyle because they have been abused as a child and so forth. That's not true.
Okay, so like he's anti-gay, and he says being gay is wrong according to the Bible, but very open to the transgender community. Okay, good for him. Okay, here's my theory. Because Pat Robertson is not randomly open-minded and open-hearted towards an oppressed community that he feels like, well, look, they were trapped in the wrong body. What can you do? I've never seen him be that way in any other regard. Somebody's got tape on him. Not only has he been with someone who's transgendered, but they have evidence that he's been with someone who's transgendered.
That would already be leaked at this point, don't you think?
No. They're holding over his head for whatever reason, right? That's why he knows, well, if the tape comes out, I could come back and say, hey, 2-3 different times I said trans was okay. Gay is bad. Trans is totally fine, okay? I said it, right? Because he can't say gay is okay.
Yeah, and obviously you're speculating big time.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just being 100% clear about that.
I'm not the one who has the tape. Okay, so yes, of course, I'm kind of kidding and definitely speculating. And we don't know what Pat has done or whether there's evidence of it. But this is not a liberal guy who's like, well, golly gee, I really understand that. If there wasn't a reason for him to make those comments, he'd say the same thing about them as he would about gay people. Oh, they were born with an illness. They used to be called an illness. Now, we're supposed to think they're trapped in their different body.
Yeah, they're sexual deviants. I know. That's why, look, I totally understand where you're coming from, because it does seem very strange for him to be so supportive of one community and so hateful toward another. But one thing that I do love about Pat Robertson, and I've made this point before, is he's very representative of how things are changing, right? You look at him, he's frail, he has these very senile moments where you're just like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, right? It's very, very obvious. And I like that because it's symbolic in the way that younger generations are changing the way things are. If you look at millennials and if you look at younger people, the vast majority of them are very accepting of the LGBT community. So Pat Robertson has very little sway at this point. He's not having an impact on younger generations. We watch videos like this and we laugh at it. Raw Story has a field day with Pat Robertson on a regular basis, and I love it. So if he's going to say hateful things, yes, he's going to attract other hateful people, but at this point, I don't really think he has that much of an influence.
Look, let's not forget lovable old senile Pat Robertson recently said things like, God vomited the gays out of the earth. Okay?
Or when he says that he wishes that we were more like Muslims in that we would abuse our women, that we would allow men to hit women to discipline them.
Right. Well, he's just trying to, speak the Lord's commandments that the man should be the master of the house. So the guy who thinks God vomited out the gays is not going to be randomly in favor of transgendered people unless there's tape.